everybody, this is Bernie from Stampin' Up, and welcome back to another Friday card making session with me. This week I am featuring the In the Moment stamp set, and I love this stamp set. As I mentioned in my social media posts this week, I wear two hats. I'm both a stamping business owner, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, but I also, and actually I should probably switch those the other way around, I am mostly a clinical nutritionist, and then I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, but the two seem to merge because I give my clients cards, I make them care bags when they see me for the first time. They get journals that I stamp images on. They get birthday cards, they get sympathy cards if they lose loved ones, they get I'm thinking of you cards. So I combine both my loves of both helping people with nutrition, but I also combine my love of card making as well. So when I saw this stamp set in the latest mini catalog, it was absolutely perfect for cards to just encourage my clients, especially the one that tells you about relaxing. So I want to demonstrate for you today how I go about using my Stampin' Up alcohol blends, because this is a really awesome stamp set, being an open design that you can use any medium. You can watercolor this, you can use your soft pastel chalks to do this. You can use your right marker pens if you want to do this, or you can just use a blender pen and put it into the ink pad. You can use your refillers on the little clear blocks, and you just seriously, you can color this in any way you want. But I've been working on my blending skills. So I taught a class this past Tuesday, and we did the class around this in the moment stamp set. So I thought, why not make it for you guys as well? So I'll set that to the side. This image over here, I just wanted to show you, is part of it. And the paper I used is also in the designer series paper. And you probably can't see it too well, but it's actually got an embossed section at the back in Night of Navy. I'm going to take a similar concept, and this time we're going to do it in white, and then once we've finished that, I will show you some other ideas using the same stamp set. So I thought I would give the Friendly Hello a last hurrah in terms of using their papers. I loved the Friendly Hello. They are celebration papers. They are a level 2 gift, and they will be ending for South Pacific on the 16th of March. So if you haven't yet placed an order with me, and you wanting to, if you place an order of a minimum of 110 New Zealand, you will get a level 1 gift, and they vary. Or otherwise, if you place an order to the value of $220 New Zealand excluding shipping, you will get a level 2. And the Friendly Hello is both a stamp set and paper. And if you want to see what I've done with that in the past, go and have a look at previous videos. So for today, I'm going to be using white as a background. So thick cardstock, 8.25 by 5.5 inches, scored at 4 1/8. And you will see this has become one of my favorite card templates at the moment. I can't get enough of it. So sorry about that, but I'm just loving its look. Oh, just took those measurements off without showing you. So then you also need to cut another piece of thick white cardstock, 5 3/8 by 4. And I have embossed this with the macrame embossing folder. It is a 3D folder, so make sure when you use your cut and emboss machine that you only are using plate 1 and 4. Don't try and get a 3D embossing folder through your cut and emboss machine using plates 1 and 3. You will break your machine. So make sure it's only plates 1 and 4 for 3D folders. What I usually do is I actually label my embossing folders that are 3D so that I don't have to guess. Okay, so just glue that onto your card base, and we're going to set that aside temporarily. Actually, no, we can do the let's do the designer series paper. You will need a piece of designer series paper 5 1/8 by 3 3/4 and a contrasting designer series paper 5" by 3 5/8. And this is where Stampin' Up just excel. And this is one of the friendly hello papers where, as you can see, the opposite of that is that paper. And I just love the designer series papers in Stampin' Up for that very reason, is that they design them in such a way that it creates for beautiful coordinated paper, especially if you are a scrapbooker as well. It does all the guesswork for you. So as you can see, the look I'm going for on this card is quite feminine. So that's a pale papaya floral base. So I'm videoing this at a different time of the day today. I normally do these in the morning when the light is better. So I do apologize if it's not as great as what it normally is. Then for the stamp, I am using a shimmer paper. Again, I don't know if the camera is picking this up, but we have shimmer paper in the catalog, and that is a very good paper to use if you are going to be doing any kind of, well, especially if you're watercoloring. I like to use it when I do my blends so that they don't, normal cardstock won't run, but I do prefer to use it with my blends. And you can see I've just been coating the back of this stamp upside down very lightly. And as I taught the ladies in my class on Tuesday, the reason I do that is when I am going to color in an image, I really don't want the black to be the focal point. I want it to be there, obviously, to form the borders, but I definitely do not want it to be standing out. So I'm going to set Memento Black to the side, because if you've followed me enough times on my YouTube channel, you'll know I invariably get it all over my hands. And I'll just get myself a wipe just in case. All right. So now, with the blends, you want, and I'll just bring my camera in there just to focus it in a little bit. All right. Okay, let's bring it in a bit more. There we go. What you want to do with the blends, sorry, let me just get that picture in there for you, is that you want to be creating a realistic picture. You want to think of shading. You want to think of where's the sun landing on this picture. So I'm going to make it that her shading is all on the left hand side. My personal preference is I like to start with a light color, and I do like to create some space, white space. So you'll often see when I color, I'm not always going right up to the edge. Okay. And then what you need to do is I then bring in the dark color, or you can have something else if you prefer. And I will go in sort of on the edges there, as the shadow would have fallen on her. And then I will come back in with the light, and I will literally just pull that through. And that's all I'm going to do for her hat. Now, if you don't like what has happened with the coloring, you can always use the color lifter. And I would suggest to you that if you buy blends for the first time, maybe add the color lifter in your order, because then you've got it. All right, And you do need to give it a few minutes, and you'll see it lifts very quickly. Then for her dress, because I'm working with pale papaya, I'm going to bring in a little bit of pale papaya. And again, I'm doing the same idea. I'm not going to I'm just going to create some white space. So if you've been watching me week by week, you'll know last week I was talking about our little hedgehogs. Well, up until Friday last week, we still had the 4. Friday evening, so they've started coming out now only in the evening, so that's great. So they're starting to get a little bit bigger, so they don't need to come out in the day for food. But we spotted 4 on the Friday, and then on Saturday there were only 3, and there have only been 3 up until, where are we now, Tuesday night. And we didn't get to see, Wednesday night we had Bible study in our home, so we didn't get to actually physically sight them. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if these little guys are still around. I hope so. I'm going to bring a little bit of a different color in there. I'm going to actually bring a cinnamon cider in. I just want to just create a little bit of interest with her belt and her dress. And actually, while I'm busy with the cinnamon cider, I'm using the bullet tip, and I'm just doing the squiggles for her hair. All right, looking good. Now I'm going to use the ivory and just color in her arms. Stampin' Up has released some neutral blends which are perfect for doing skin color. I haven't yet purchased any myself, but I've heard from my colleagues that it's pretty cool. And I'm just going to lighten that ever so slightly with my color lifter again. Not too crazy on that one. Cool. Now her glass of wine. I'm going to, again with the bullet tip, I'm just going to come in there. And with Pool Party, if ever you need to create the illusion of glass or a window, Pool Party is your color. So I'm just going to lightly color in that so that these, and we'll come back to the Pool Party because I'm going to use that as a background. Now for the post, I'm actually going to use bronze, and I'm literally just going to do some stripes on the wood. Okay, it's coming together really quickly. And going back to Pool Party, I'm using the brush tip now, and I'm going to just come in and I'm creating a little bit of a background scene, sort of the illusion of sky in the background. I love how she's holding onto her hat. There must be a bit of a breeze where she is. I'm hoping she's having some time out and that she's going to have an awesome evening with friends. Okay, so I'm just creating some rough background there for her. Nothing major. I'm not creating straight lines. I don't want straight lines. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right marker, and on the bullet tip, sorry I didn't put that in the camera, I'm going to just emphasize these birds. Okay, now let me just zoom out. There we go. So there we've got our colored in image. I am now going to use my stitched shape dies, and I'm going to die cut this image. So if I have a look at it, bearing in mind it's going to be there's a stitching on it, I'm just looking at where it's coming. So I want to color a bit more of the blue. It needs a bit more blue at the top. Alright, let's go back and look at that. That's better. And I might just bring her dress out a little bit more as well. Just so that when it cuts it in the die, cut and emboss machine, it's all covered. Let's have a look. Yep, and there's a little bit of blue here that needs to come here as well. Okay, let's have a look at that. I'm happy with that. Very good. So I'm just going to go and grab my cut and emboss, or put it through the cut and emboss machine, and I will be back. Very good. So I've now cut it using my layering dies, and now all I need to do is I need to adhere it, and I want to use dimensionals for that, just to give it a little bit of height. Very good. I'm coming to the end of my dimensionals. So if you ever, well, of course you will if you use them a lot, when you come to the end of your dimensionals, do make sure that you don't throw these edges away, because they are just as good. They've also got the foam on them, so don't waste them. Okay, I think that'll do. Pop that in there. I'm off camera. Okay, so pop them off there. So I've just used the edges, and now I'll just pull that off. Perfect. Okay, I'm just going to put it bang in the center like that, and I am going to use, what bling are we going to use for this? Let's have a look. We've got, oh, that's quite pretty. So that's the opal rounds. I seem to go to them quite a lot. We've also got these new iridescent rhinestones. There's a bit of, let's have a look. It's plain. I might give the iridescent rhinestones a chance. I haven't used them. So they come in 3 different sizes. These are really big ones. And then these teeny tiny ones. And then these sort of medium sized ones. They're very pretty, and they take on, let's do a big one. Yeah, perfect. I might just, do I like that? I might just move that one in. Do you do that? You put your rhinestones down, and I'm not quite sure. Actually, now that I moved that one, I've got to move this one. Okay. Right. So you could put a sentiment in there if you wanted. You could add some ribbon behind that if you wanted. I'm going to just leave it simple like that today. You could come in with your lifter and just lift up some of that ink around the blue if you felt that it was a bit too much background. You could also come in with your white marker, your Whisper White chalk paint, and pop some in there. The options are endless. So that's the one picture. This is the one that I showed you when we started. So that's the other image. And then the final image in the stamp set is this lady that's reading her book with a cup of something with her doggy. So those are the three different images that come in the stamp set, in the Moment stamp set, and you can change them up however you want to. And I think it's a really awesome card stamp set to give friends that are experiencing a tough time. And I think it's well placed in the mini catalog after the last 2 years everyone's been through. So don't overlook it. It's a great stamp set if you enjoy coloring in. So I hope you've found this helpful. Do subscribe. Let's just move this into the picture. Do subscribe to my channel if you like what I'm doing. Like the button and click the subscribe button so that you don't miss any notifications of my videos. And I also, like I say every week, I've got a Stampin' Eat Facebook page, Instagram page, and I do pop my posts up on Pinterest as well. And my blog is work in progress. It's almost finished. I'm starting to write the posts in the background so that they can be scheduled. So once that's up, I will be advertising that. So thank you so much for joining me this Friday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And until we meet again, remember, stamp, eat, sleep, repeat. Bye.